Welcome to Safari Catch Up, a daily wrap of the best wildlife sightings over the last 24 hours.
Well, everybody, still here with the lions. As you can see, the nice female, beautiful female. That's very big head. I know that it's 3 older females, 2 young females, a young male, and then there is an older male here as well, with him as well. But we'll try and get to see him very shortly. So they could have come all the way from the south, from Mala. Could have come north here, maybe getting pushed by some other males. Maybe that's why they moved so far north. But as I said, I want to take a look exactly which male is following them here. There is a bigger male. It's just behind them. I've got a feeling it might be the black dam male, but yeah, we'll double check on that very shortly. But he's not coming close to the pride. He kind of looks like he's just kind of keeping his distance. A lot of scarring on his back. Ew. A lot of bite marks on his back. Yeah, typical with lions, many times when they are in confrontation with other males, they tend to go for the spinal area, trying to sever the spine. I don't know, he's definitely got proper battle wounds on him. You can see some of the puncture marks on the back there, but some old wounds as well. So a lot of those wounds have healed up quite nicely. It does happen many times. I mean, wild animals are so resilient to their injuries, and they heal up very quickly. As long as his spine was not severed, that's the main thing, But yeah, he survived to see another day.
I'm still watching these 2 males, and this is actually real. This is a fairly serious interaction we've got going here. They're both males, they're both adults, they're similarly sized. The one on the left maybe looks a little bit older and stockier than the one on the right. I'm just looking at the face. The one on the left is holding his ground, but those quarters are pushed hard against each other, those back ends. Davidson, I was just about to say, they develop these, you can see in that silhouette there, huge bumps like calcifications on the front of their foreheads, and it's believed that this is to make their heads heavier so they can do more damage, and they can kill each other. But you can see them lifting one of their front legs to lean into that weight, and often someone will outlean the other and it's over. But these 2 are not backing down.
Now this is just 2 spotted hyenas. They look to be youngsters, and the carrion they are on is what was the hippopotamus that was brought down maybe 3 weeks ago or so. About 3 weeks ago by the Topi boys. This is what is left now, and not sure what we could do without the hyenas and the vultures. Yeah, the hot air balloon now is coming down. It's time to land, and people will have some champagne breakfast. Beautiful, glorious light we have in the Mara currently. Ashwan and family, Jumbo, and you're wondering if a hyena will eat another hyena. Well, I haven't seen that, Ashwan and family. What I've seen hyenas killing each other for dominancy, but I have not had a hyena eating another hyena. But again, Ashwan and family, we have always said here in the bush, you never say never. You might get a guide or presenter saying, yes, that happens, and actually I saw it happen. It could be possible, but personally, I haven't seen, I wouldn't think that could happen.
we have managed to find what all the commotion was with our hyena. We saw at least 10 to maybe 15 hyena in this area and crossing the road right in front of us. So there is this one hyena that's feeding on the remains of a wildebeest carcass. Looks like he's got the head there. I can see some horns, and he is munching away. So there's currently three hyena here. Oh no, yeah, four hyena. One's just put his head down. So there's this one that's feeding on the carcass, and there's 3 just off to the left. Haha. Bundubash, yes, the cleanup crew are hard at work. So not only do we have these 4 hyena that are busy munching away on the leftover remains of this wildebeest carcass, but we do have 2 white-backed vultures and my first white-headed vulture just off to the right. I mean, obviously have seen white-headed in southern Africa, but a very special vulture species to see. Have a look at that bright pink face. He's got a bit of purple on his cere and then a red tip to the end of his bill. Quite a pretty looking vulture. So the white-headed vulture is listed as critically endangered. So unfortunately, throughout Africa, they have had a decline in the last couple of years, and there's thought to be around 5,000 to 6,000 individuals left worldwide. Obviously here in Kenya, it's difficult to get a reading on the exact number, but there could only probably be between 30 to 36 pairs left in Kenya. Oh, what's happening? The young hyena just came. Have a look at the color difference here with these youngsters. So the 2 young hyenas just came and chased the vultures off. They're like, nope, this is our breakfast. Don't feed on our kill, please.
Wow. We are enjoying ourselves with these buffalo. We've moved a little bit closer. And we're so close we can hear them breathing. And when we moved closer, there was a lot of them sniffing, trying to pick up our scent. It's weird how, they can see us, and they're looking right at us, but they're still trying to smell. They're like, and the wind is blowing in your direction. You don't even smell that much. Lady showing her teefies, her pearly whites. Quite often when we see buffalo herds, they are on the move, in search of grass, in search of water. And these guys obviously have done a fair amount of grazing, and then now just letting the digestion process take its part. Yeah, there's a little bit of a someone getting annoyed with another one.
Now we have a kingfisher right there, and we got a malachite kingfisher. There's a drainage line here, or what we call here in Kenya lagers, and most of the lagers will have water. I think she is fishing and she just caught herself something. We all know as many of these birds are called kingfishers, not all of them that depend on food, or rather depend on fish as food. Many of them will eat different stuff like insects. Out there you see them way far from water, but apparently the kingfisher and the pied kingfisher tend to love fish a lot. That's what is part of their main diet. And of my favorite kingfishers, the malachite one that we have is, I would say my favorite one. Sometimes you'll see them dopping or moving their head up and down. Tina, thank you for agreeing with David that this is the most beautiful of all the kingfishers. I mean, they have wonderful colors, Tina. Thank you for agreeing with me, because the pirate kingfishers, okay, I mean, they're just black and white, but this one have the orange, have the blue, have the white. I mean, have the malachite in it, from where it gets its name. And I was talking of how they do a bit of doping. You will see them sometimes moving their head up and down, trying to estimate where the fish is, and that helps them to calculate the speed they're going to land on the prey. See that? Shoo shoo. And they're quite light, because it's just patched on a blade of a grass blade. And they look using the eyes, then they estimate, then they just leave where they patch straight to the water, catch something, and maybe back in the same position.
But we've got the Queen. Yes. We have been hot on her trail for most of the morning. She's having a long drink here. Anna Marie, yay for the Queen. She has given us the runaround this morning. We have been tracking by birds mostly. Oh, I'm so happy I've found her. Very close to where I saw her for the very first time. These go-away birds are shouting at her. And cats they've got quite rough tongues, and those rough tongues really help them when they're drinking to almost scoop that water up. We know you've had a long walk, girl, because we've been trying to follow you.
Some magnificent specimens here in Amakhala. The grass is looking really good for them. Nature's Garden Service. The fork-tailed drongo along for the ride, waiting for any insects to be disturbed. Quickly swoop down and catch them, causing no harm to the rhino. Might drop a little bit of poo on its back every now and again, but some would say that's good luck. Catfan is a wonderful horn. Its only true purpose is on the nose of a rhino, everybody.
Oh, we are still here. Almost at the time where it is almost time for us to leave our elefante. Very, very nice though. But we don't actually have to leave. What we'll do is we'll actually vacate to the vehicle, and from there we can continue to watch them until they actually pass over and go further south along this riverbed. And then we can actually go into a crossing and watch them from the crossing, which is also quite nice. Although crossing is quite It's not that far. It's a distance. I'm sure we'll be able to see them from there. But if not, we shall continue on and see what else Sandringham has to offer. Whew, Benji, that is a good question. Very, very good question. I think it has its limits. I think it depends really. Look, see, most of the time, elephants will chase animals out of the area where they are. So if there's a herd of buffalo here, maybe there's 5 buffaloes here, it's possible these boys can, 1, move past these buffalo, or 2, they could chase them. In the case of vehicles, I think maybe not. I think they're quite tolerant of vehicles. But in the case of us being on foot like this, they might not be as tolerant.
We've caught up with the cheetah boys and they're eating something, everybody. I'll tell you in a moment. If you don't like sensitive scenes, everybody, it's a good time to look away. Kind of looks like an impala, just by that head. But it wasn't really a lot to go with. Can't say I've seen many impala in this particular area. But that would be their prime. Definitely a prime food pairing for a group of cheetahs. Well, it won't last them very long. It seems like this kill is a few hours at least because they're feeding and it doesn't seem to be bloodying their faces, which is what would happen if it was very fresh. So we wanted to catch up with some of the cheetah dynamics this afternoon. We've struck gold. As a cheetah, it helps also to be in a coalition like this because someone else can be looking out while the others are feeding.
How's that? I think you guys live.
You can hear the black cuckoo calling. It's my first of the season. And my first cheetahs for quite some time.
Not sure this is the girl who was mating the other day. And after we left our baboons and impalas and lions, we moved on. And we saw this girl from 100, well, not 100 kilometers away, a long way. She might lead us to one of the males, one of the toppy boys. The marsh pride have a wonderful history with the marsh area. I would say 3 or 4 generations back. This was the genesis of these lions or lionesses, including apparently the toppy boys. She's majestically marching in the marsh, avoiding the wet area because the marsh is always very swampy. She has to be careful she doesn't sink. They have been known sometimes to look for fish, especially catfish. Do you want to jump? What do you want to do? If you jump from there, that's to me. Wow. Did you catch something for yourself? Or did you just jump and landed on a prey? Who knows? Then that, if will be the case, that could be one of the easiest hunts I have seen.
So we've found a topi and some buffalo. Have a look at the buffalo down in this marshy, very marshy, muddy,
almost like a drainage line area, or it's kind of like a riverine, marshy riverine, lots of palm trees and nice places for these buffalo boys to go and have a bit of a mud bath. You can see they're all covered in mud. I don't blame them. It's a bit of a warm afternoon, so they've probably been enjoying themselves down there in the mud. I was wondering what palm trees we get here in the Masai Mara. I was quite surprised to actually find these very thick wooded areas, normally where there's freshwater springs or streams and there's palm trees, and it's one of the few places in the Mara apparently that you do find palm trees. So it's probably one of the Hyphene palms. I would have guessed the wild date palm, or it could also be one of the dome palms, but probably from the family Hyphene. And these palm trees attract so much life. So when they do have their bright orange fruit, it attracts birds, squirrels, and monkeys. But really cool to see some different habitats here in the Mara. Our Topi's decided he's not hanging around anymore. He also looks like he's come from this riverine area, that Topi. His horns were covered in mud. It's probably scent marking, another form of territorial marking. Jesse, yes, that body of that Topi, sorry, he has moved off, but the body of that Topi does look very similar to our human skin. They've one of the fastest antelope in Africa, so they can reach very high speeds, and they have very big hearts to cope with this very high speeds that they can reach. So we had our Topi that has just left. This Topi and this hartebeest, this is the Coke's hartebeest, are two mammal lifers that I've got since I've been here in the Mara. This is not a hartebeest species I'm familiar with. The red hartebeest in southern Africa is a more common hartebeest species that I've seen more often. So lovely to see a whole array of new antelope species as well. So I'm getting some mammal lifers as well as bird lifers. These look like two sub-adult males. Obviously male and female hartebeest do both have horns, and they seem to be a lot lighter in color than our red hartebeest, but they still have that very prominent white, kind of white markings or white rump.
All right, well, everybody, we've got these lions coming nicely down here for us now. They are moving south towards Jacis Sabi house property. So as you can see, and you can see the Ntsevu male in the background as well, following the females, following the girls. Oh, and this female in front is so beautiful. I think she's one of the offspring from the Majinga lines in 2013. Absolutely a stunning girl. Reminds me of almost of the Chilala pride. Big females, and I mean, this female is huge, big head. Brilliant, absolutely marvelous, eh? And you can see how they all just follow each other. So nice. And then we got the big boy that's following with the young male, so it looks like father and son at the back end. That's nice. Oh, look at that. So the Ntsevu males, they're the fathers of the three youngsters here, the two young females and a young male. Nikki, absolutely beautiful, eh? Oh, he's tired, eh? He's like, nah. He's gonna let the ladies and this young male continue. You can see the nice little mane coming through slowly, but really starting to get that like kind of mane around the head, cheek area and the top of the head.
I was telling myself, I mean, I can't go 48 hours without catching up with one of the boys here of the Topi, and we got this particular fellow. This beautiful man in the midst of the grass. So my immediate guess, this would be Moja. I could be wrong, but we'll be waiting to see if he stands up. But the man, quite blondie man, his face a little cut down lower cheek, on the left cheek, got a little slit, little cut, not sure what could have happened. And look at the size of the mane. Possibly this could be Moja Moja. So Moja Moja is a coalition of 7 lions that came from the Topi Pride. They're about 4 years old, 5 of them, or rather 6 of them, and one of them is about 3 years old. That is called Kiongozi or Kio. We have always seen 5 and 2, but for the last 3-4 days, they are all separated, not for sure for what reason.
So we've got quite a few things happening here. We've been having a look for a spotted hyena den in this valley. We haven't found the den yet, but this hyena has kind of given me a better idea of where we can look. But we also have an ostrich, so the ostrich got a fright because there was a hyena close by. But we also have 2 northern ground hornbills. I hope this hyena doesn't decide to hunt right now. These southern ground hornbills are a protected species. Oh, what is going to happen here? Please don't eat one of these hornbills. Isn't this unusual? What a crazy sighting. Okay, I guess they're both just going to go about their days. We're just going to pretend like nothing happened. I've never quite had a sighting like that before. A hyena and a ground hornbill crossing paths. A little bit of that Mara magic that David is always talking about.
Absolutely remarkable. And we said we heard something like that, and I'm thinking, man, there must be a leopard here. It looks like Chitwa to me. So she's just resting nicely up down at the back of the dam wall, next to the like a little puddle of water. A nice little spot for her. Yeah, it's I think 95% chance here. It's good job up. Panting a bit quick. I don't see that the belly's full. I think he's just panting more due to the heat of today. But nice little spot for her, especially on a hot day like today. Today was a nice spot for her, just behind here, next to some nice greenery, some nice coolness around here. I mean, if I was a leopard, I would do the same. I would have also chosen that spot. It is perfect. Now I'm actually wondering if you heard a call. I've got a little bit of a feeling that maybe the youngsters might be around here.
Oh, we've got some elephants passing underneath us with a beautiful sunset in the background. With a gale force winds, it feels like. My goodness, the wind has picked up dramatically, and I definitely did not expect this. Listen to it, my goodness. Good that these elephants have moved away from the waterhole. I'm sure they would not have enjoyed it when they were there. Yeah, matriarch pulling up the rear, it looks like. If not matriarch, mother of matriarch. As you can see, nature never fails to deliver something magical. We hope you enjoyed this safari catch-up. We'll see you next time.